Hello everybody and welcome to EV the World. I am your host Joel Knott and I'd like to welcome you to this very first EV the World video, and I couldn't think of a more fitting place to have it than at the Fully Charged live show in 2023 here in beautiful Sydney, Australia. The town that, although I don't live in anymore, I was born and raised. So come on, let's go and check it all out. All right, right now we have Ed here from EVS. I'm going to let him do all the talking because we've already had a pre-chat about this and he is a wealth of information. Ed, tell us what you got here and tell us what you do.
Yeah, so we formed Australian EVS and we focus on importing simple bolting kits for any classic car and can convert it from petrol to EV, and it's just a total new driving experience. So with our beautiful Beetle behind us, it's gone from 40 horsepower to equivalent to about 200. So it's just a beautiful cruising car now. You don't have that noise that the old Beetles used to have. You don't have the vibration of a smell. But you can just drive along, get the radio on. It's just a beautiful cruising car, and the amount of looks that you get, especially when you can't hear it, is fantastic.
Absolutely, yeah. I can imagine as well, because I think most people associate a Volkswagen Beetle with the dak 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 sound. Hence, it's called a dak dak. So yeah, I understand that would be amazing. But the job you've done is beautiful. Now you're explaining about the kits that these are. Are you looking at these kits purely for you to fit, or are you looking at kits to be able to sell to the consumer? I wasn't sure and we didn't really ask that earlier.
Yeah, so my focus is about importing the kits. So there's so many amazing kits getting put together around the world, particularly from the US and Europe, UK. So we look at importing the kits and then working with the restoration workshops or even home restoration guys who are wanting to put it in themselves. So we focus on kits that, number one, have to look cool in the back of the car, especially when there's classic cars like this. But try and make it as simple as you can to just bolt it straight in. So it can be 50, 70 hours to put the kit in. And the best bit is it's non-destructive. So if you do decide you want to take it out, you wouldn't once you've driven it. But if you do want to take it out, then you can do it at the end. So it's great. You're still having a bit of respect for the old car.
So I'm not going to lie, I have absolutely no idea what I'm sitting in right now. The first thing, if I was blindfolded and then sat in this car and looked at the steering wheel, I would think I was sitting in a Honda. Come on in here and have a look at this. This, it has to be a Honda steering wheel, doesn't it? Or like a perfect rip-off. What does it say here? EV Automotive EC2, dual door cargo van. Look, I love the little van. I'm a huge fan of little vans. I'm a poet and I don't know it. But yeah, certainly, obviously not for the Australian market at this point in time, being left-hand drive, but it's very, very basic, but basic's okay. Yeah. Quite a bit of checker plate in the back. Seems to be quite this common sort of feel that most of these vans have now with the checker plate base, and you can only assume all the battery packs underneath. So yeah, it's cute, even if I don't know what it is. So now that we've sat in the EC2 already, it only makes sense to sit in the EC1. This is the EC1. It's also left-hand drive. It also looks like a Honda steering wheel. It basically looks like exactly the same as the EC2, but I guess it's just half a vehicle. Okay, now we have Peter here from EV Automotive to tell us all about, well, certainly the EC1 and the EC2 that we've just been sitting in. Tell us all about it.
They're brand new, so we're currently undergoing a thing called homologation, which is where they do the trials and testing to make them approved for Australian conditions and are legally able to be driven on the road. We're teaming up with a Chinese manufacturer to make them into a right-hand drive, and all going well, we will see them on the market in early next year, which is 2024.
Fantastic. What sort of price point roughly would we be looking at? No?
It's very hard because...
Too soon to tell?
Australian standards are very expensive to actually achieve. It's not the application, it's all of the extras that has to go into it. So I would prefer not to take a guess, but where we're thinking is it might start with a 5, and I'm not talking 500,000.
Okay.
That would be nice, but we'll see how it ends up.
No, fair enough. All right, well, thank you for that, Peter. Much appreciated.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Enjoy the show.
Thank you. And if you're into people movers, I couldn't think of more of a people mover than the EC11. Let's come on in. How did anyone know how many seats we have in here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Too many seats to even count. I can't count that much. I was running out of fingers. But this is, well, it's tall enough for me, and I'm not exactly the tallest person in the world, but there's a little bit of head height going on there. So we've sat in the EC1, the EC2, now we're in the EC11, so I can only guess that EC11 stands for 11 seats maybe? So after some careful mathematics inside, it turns out the EC11 is actually a 12-seater. Who'd have thunk it? All right, here we are with Imani. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Awesome. I'm here with Imani right now. And we've just been having a look at their amazing Land Rover project. And I really just wanted to ask her about the Zero E drive unit they've got in here. Tell us a little bit about what you've got going on.
Yeah, so that's a Tesla Model 3 engine. It was originally a front-wheel drive that we've had converted into an all-wheel drive.
It's amazing. I mean, the workmanship you've done here is fabulous. So you're more on the fabrication side.
Yeah, I've been currently fabricating the doors. They looked a little bit like Swiss cheese when we got them, but they're a little bit better now.
Swiss cheese from rust, or?
Yeah, very rusty car. Sat under a gum tree for about 15 years.
Okay, and I overheard earlier you're at university as well. So what are you studying at university that you're also doing fabrication work?
I'm actually just studying civil engineering. Cars are my hobby, so I enjoy engineering, but I'd rather cars to be a hobby, something I can have fun with. So.
Okay, and how many people are on the team here? I mean, this is a all-girls project from what I'm reading here, Girls in STEAM electric car project. What's the correlation of the STEAM?
So it's sort of an extra bit of STEM, so it's science, technology, engineering, arts and maths.
Okay.
So we've added the arts in there.
Okay, I totally understand that. Yeah, right. And so besides the doors, have you been working on anything else on this, or what's your sort of main role on this vehicle?
Yeah, no, I've done lots of bits and bobs. I helped paint things. We had about 8 people trying to put that motor in. It was very heavy. Axles, stuffing bearings with grease. That was dirty work.
It's disgusting work. I hate doing wheel bearings.
It was bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm very impressed. You've done amazing work, and I can't wait to see this thing finished. And you said that this is going to be a rental vehicle at the end. Is that right, or a loan vehicle?
Yeah, no, you're going to be able to rent it in our community. So it's just going to give back and put more money into more girls' projects.
Fantastic. Very impressed. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, here we are at the MG stand, and we have the new MG4. And I have to say, the quality of workmanship on this car has really stepped up a lot. I remember some of the earlier MGs that were coming into Australia. This is next level, absolutely. I mean, even the paint finish, everything about it is beautiful. I've had a good chat with one of the MG representatives earlier, and I will say that he was a bit coy on some of the things like price, etc. And that was okay. We didn't want to push it too much because they haven't quite worked out what the Australian market's going to be for this just yet. But I could definitely see myself driving one of these, quite honestly. They're way more impressive. I knew that they were releasing the MG4 here at this event, but I didn't think I'd be as impressed as what I am. So well done, MG. Very well done. And for without question the brightest and most difficult stand to look at the show, the Polestar 2 stand. So all jokes aside, we are here at the Polestar stand, and we have the Polestar 2 behind us. And I must say, the first thing that does jump out are the massive brakes that are on this. They are unbelievable. But looking at the specs on the ground here, I'm not sure if you can see them from there, but I think the one thing that really was awesome, in my opinion, was the range of this. 487 kilometres. I think one of the biggest complaints that most people have is range anxiety when it comes to EVs, and it's nice to see companies like Tesla, like Polestar, that are really quashing that argument that most internal combustion engine people have. right now at the ABB stand, and quite honestly, I really should be talking about ABB's fast charger. But behind me is a Formula E car, and I know it sounds terrible, but I've never seen a Formula E car in the flesh. Now, why I say that sounds terrible is because I'm a huge electric vehicle fan, but I have never seen one, and these are quite impressive. I mean, they do have some, well, stark, I was going to say slight differences to Formula One cars. They do have some slightly stark differences to Formula One cars, but they still really are an impressive piece of kit. And given that this really is just a display car, it doesn't look like it necessarily does too much racing these days, I'm quite impressed. Well, that was Fully Charged Live 2023, a fabulous event, very well attended, not only by the stands, but also by the people. I'm quite amazed. Australians are really embracing the EV culture. Very impressed, very happy to be here. Thank you, Fully Charged Live, for having us, and we'll see you at the next one. How does my hair look under these lights?